Joining me now is former Senator Fred Thompson, a former presidential candidate and a good friend of John McCain. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you first about that clip that we just saw from the Katie Couric interview with Sarah Palin. Is it acceptable that she could not name a single Supreme Court ruling other than Roe v. Wade?
You know, I think you got the answer there of probably almost 100% of non-lawyer candidates if they have not been given a list of cases. Say they might ask you about this one, they might ask you about that one.
But everybody knows other Supreme Court rulings.
No, they don't.
Ordinary Americans would know Supreme Court
some
rulings.
do and some don't. Now, you could say she should have had time to go over that list, and of course she will. And she'll have a chance to deal with the whole judicial side of things, which is new to people who are not lawyers. But she's not. And you can ring one up against her on that if you want to. But I'm telling you, with people I've worked with in the Senate and other politicians who have run for office who are not lawyers, being asked questions point blank like that, unless they have somebody there and they've been prepped on them, will give you about the same answer.
The McCain campaign has been spending a lot of time lately having to defend her, and a growing number of Republicans are criticizing her for her perceived lack of knowledge or at least inability to discuss important issues. How important is tonight? Well, is she up for the debate tonight?
Yeah, she's coming in here with an array of things against her like nobody else ever has. There's a lot of people vested in her not doing well. The media, she was not vetted by the media. She was not on the media short list. The media does not like surprises. She's not giving the media access that they want. They're irritated about that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to know why a growing number of Republicans are criticizing her, not the media.
What would you consider to be a growing number? You take one or two who knows that they'll get their name used an awful lot if they come out there, and you focus on that. I'm talking about the 30, 40, 50,000 people she has that she's going to have tonight after the debate. Once again, I was over there today. But they came at her with everything imaginable, her and her family and Democratic operatives going into her email and all that. Then they challenged her own experience until they realized she's got a more credible experience than Barack Obama does, except for running for president. And now they're trying to belittle her and embarrassing her by taking these little clips, you know, like Katie's. And we've all had bad days. And she's had some bad moments in some of these interviews, just like the rest of us have. But and then she comes here and finds that the moderator apparently has got a financial interest in Barack Obama being elected president. So if I were in her shoes,
well, I don't know about that. We'll let Gwen Eiffel answer that for herself. But right now we have to leave it there.
Does she not have a book coming out on Obama?
We have to leave it there.
Do you not think that there'll be more book sales if Obama's president? This is no.
I think that Sarah Palin's performance will speak for itself tonight, and that's all the time we have.
That's a point that I was about to make.
Right.
But
thank you, Senator
she has
Thompson.
done it in the past, and she will do it in the future. And this time, people will get a chance to see her from beginning to end without being edited. And perhaps you can have some clips on there of the gaffes that Joe Biden has every day of the campaign that don't seem to make more than maybe an hour or so of the day.
Senator Fred Thompson, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have to leave it there. Appreciate it. Let's get back to Harry in New York.
All right. Joining us now from Washington is Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill, who is also national co-chair for Barack Obama's campaign. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning.
Speaking of Joe Biden putting his foot in his mouth, you said sometime in the last 24 hours or so, I'm getting this off the Kansas City Star website, my friend Joe Biden has a tendency to talk forever and sometimes say stuff that's kind of stupid. How worried?
That was my Joe Biden.
Yeah, how worried are you about him tonight? I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know, I think Joe obviously has a challenge tonight. The expectations are so low for Sarah Palin, and it's difficult for him, I think. For him, no matter what he does, he's going to be criticized. I think it's interesting that the McCain campaign is now running a campaign against the media. It kind of shows they're out of ideas to talk about to the American people if all they can do is rail about the media. But Sarah Palin will be tough tonight. She is a good debater, she's an effective communicator, and she knows how to throw a punch with a velvet glove and a smile on her face. So Joe's got his work cut out for him.
So both campaigns are lowering the expectations for both candidates. So if nothing happens tonight, we'll be able to walk away and know what?
Well, I think what the American people want, let's get to the bottom line here. They want to know if these two people are ready to be president. That's the threshold for a vice presidential candidate. Ultimately, the policies of the nominees are what they're going to probably make up their mind with, but it's going to say something about the judgment of those two nominees, who they picked to be their vice presidential running mates. So that threshold they've got to cross, that they know enough to step into the big shoes if the occasion arose. And the other thing they're going to have to show is why their policies that they represent, their ticket, is best for the middle class in America.
All right, let's jump to the bailout vote last night. You voted in the affirmative, and I take it you voted for it but are not happy about it.
You know, I had to hold my nose. There are many things about this vote that make me sick to my stomach. But at the end of the day, what this means is that the credit will flow again in this country. And I know how many businessmen I heard from over the last week. And I'm talking about little small businessmen that can no longer afford their working capital loan, that can no longer afford to make their payroll. We must, in fact, grease our economic engine and make sure that credit flows again. So it was, I think, a must vote for the Congress, and I hope the House follows suit quickly so we can once again get back on some kind of stable economic footing in this country.
Senator Claire McCaskill, thanks so much. Do appreciate it.